I'm Carol Costello. Thank you so much for joining me. It is day 3 of the government shutdown, and the stalemate drags on, and party leaders dig in. They come face to face and toe to toe with the White House, and by coming together, reaffirm that they are still worlds apart.
The one thing we made very clear in that meeting, we are locked in tight on Obamacare.
The president reiterated one more time tonight that he will not negotiate.
Frustration builds and fractures deepen as more moderate Republicans inch toward breaking ranks with the party. Others go from a simmer to a boil and begrudgingly support a cause they find tough to embrace.
Now that we have made the jump, set ourselves on fire and made the jump, we are now in the valley of death. We decided to go into the valley. We have to run together. We have to stay together in order to fight the onslaught that's coming from the White House.
At each day, the cuts come closer to home, even for those most vulnerable, the children whose families would lose help in such essentials like food and education.
This is a dire situation, and these children's lives are on the line.
One group that is not suffering, at least economically, the majority of lawmakers in both parties. Most are still collecting a paycheck, even as 800,000 federal workers lose theirs. It's an issue that can cause even the most savvy politician to squirm and maybe even do an about-face. Senator Mike Lee of Utah is front and center of that controversy after telling a local reporter he would still collect his paycheck. And then he did a 180, saying he was really giving it to charity. Here's KUTV reporter Chris Jones.
I don't.
So you will continue to be paid, right?
I'm working. I'll continue to be paid.
These comments have the national media buzzing. Lee is seen as one of the architects of the plan that led to the government shutdown. We asked him several times.
You could almost take one for the team, right?
If he was going to defer his paycheck, like many others in Congress, including Utah's Jason Chaffetz, Jim Matheson, Senator Orrin Hatch, and national polls like Rand Paul, and fellow shutdown ally, Senator Ted Cruz.
When lawmakers are in session, when lawmakers are working, they are considered essential. They are not considered expendable.
The negative press sent Lee's PR team scrambling. They issued a statement claiming that Lee had intended all along to donate his salary to charity, but admitted that the senator's explanation was, quote, muddy. Lee's PR boss, Brian Phillips, also told 2 News in an email that the senator didn't want a grandstand. He said, quote, Mike Lee is not the kind of guy to make a big theater production about what and why he gives his money to charity. He is not Ted Cruz or Rand Paul. In addition to calling out those 2 senators, Phillips has gone on to tell national media outlets that 2 News got the story wrong and that he's asked for a correction. But KUTV stands by the story. The Lee campaign is talking a lot about the senator's paycheck donation plans. He was defending his plans to keep it.
You don't want the lawmakers influenced in their decision-making by whether or not they're going to get their paycheck.
Reporter Chris Jones of CNN affiliate KUTV joins me now live from Salt Lake City. Chris, tell us more about the reaction to the report we just watched.
Well, the reaction from Lee's people has been kind of 2 different sides to it. When they talk to us, they say, you know, the senator was a little muddy in his explanation, but not a big deal. But when they've talked to the national media, what they've been saying is, you know, those rubes down in Salt Lake City, they just got the story wrong. And the simple fact of the matter is we didn't get the story wrong. And if you listen to that portion of the interview on KUTV.com, you'll see that unedited, you know, we asked him several times, are you going to take your pay? Are you going to defer it like some of the other members of Congress? And he repeatedly said that he had every intention of taking that money because he's working and he's going to take that dough, even though 800,000 other federal employees have been furloughed.
Okay, so evidently something happened to force a change of mind here. Tell us how angry constituents are in Salt Lake City at him possibly accepting or continuing to take his paycheck.
Well, on our Facebook page at KUTV, we've got several hundred comments from constituents, and they range from enraged to blowing a gasket. I mean, people are very upset by what they're hearing. And from a political standpoint, you look at some of the other members of the Utah delegation, they've decided that, you know, maybe even if it is symbolic, they've decided that they're going to defer that pay. The senator deciding initially that he's going to go ahead and take it. And I'll tell you, a lot of the constituents in Utah are extremely angry, and you can see it almost everywhere you look online, comments that we're getting to our studio.
Thank you so much, Chris Jones, for waking up early and joining us this morning. Thank you so much.
You bet.
In an attempt to avoid a public relations disaster, dozens of other senators and congressmen are donating their paychecks to charity. Others are flat out refusing their paychecks. Most members of Congress earn about $3,300 a week. That's a salary of $174,000 a year. And a majority of lawmakers haven't said if they intend to keep that cash or not. CNN's Christine Romans joins me now with the full list. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Carol. Well, for some of these lawmakers, it's easy, really, to not take your paycheck or to donate it. Because remember, there are an awful lot of multimillionaires in Congress who are representing you and shutting down your government. But just look quickly at what this is compared to the average citizen. It's 4 times. They make 4 times what the average person in America makes. Look, the average worker brings home about $829 a week. If you're a federal worker and you're furloughed right now, you are hopping mad that your Congress members are still taking pay. So look, some of them are hearing this back home and deciding it's pretty good politics to defer or donate their paychecks. So let me run through who CNNmoney.com, or CNN.com rather, they've got a dynamic list of who is still getting paid and who's going to defer. First of all, in the House of Representatives, these folks are donating their paychecks. 18 Democrats, 13 Republicans. Let's take a look at the House members not accepting paychecks. 5 Democrats and 18 Republicans. Senate members donating their paychecks. 13 Democrats and 6 Republicans. And also in the Senate, not accepting their paychecks, 3 Democrats and 1 Republican. And here's the list that CNN.com has of those who are keeping, House members who have said they will keep their paychecks. You can see there's a handful of names on this list, and you can go to CNN.com to see if your elected officials indeed are going to defer or donate their pay. Now remember, they're considered essential, even though, Carol, the thing they're supposed to do is run the government purse strings. And instead of doing that, they've decided to shut down the government. So they essentially have not done their job, but they are essential and will get paid. Carol.
That's what it says in the Constitution, right? They're essential. They get paid no matter what. Christine Romans reporting live for us. Thank you so much.